What's up, guys?
Yeah, guys. Welcome to another, I guess, spoiler video. It's been a while. We're waiting for all the English translations to come in, and then schedules, like everything was everywhere. But we're all here together to go over as many of these cards that have been revealed as of right now
in English.
In English, and I think we've kind of talked about some of them in the podcast. We're gonna go over them again since it's a spoiler video, so spoiler stuff we're going over. So, again, as I always say at the beginning of every video, make sure to visit Happy Little Hug Factory in the link in the description below if you're wanting to pre-order the set as well as the starter deck, so you can pick them up on their website. I believe the starter decks are 15, 14, somewhere around there. What's the set go for?
The starter decks are 15, I believe, and then the booster box itself is 48, I believe, on Happy Little Hug Factory. So,
Not bad.
In that ballpark.
Yeah, so definitely click that link in the description below so you know that we sent you guys over. That's what really helps us out. And then
make sure you make your purchase after clicking the link. If you close out of the window and make your purchase later on, they don't know that we actually sent you over. So make sure you do. I know it's a little bit of a pain, but make sure if you can, try and do it on one swing so they know we sent you over.
But let's go ahead, I guess, start taking a look at these cards. Yeah.
Real quick before we get started, in case you guys didn't see. This is my new cat, Rudy. We just got him. He's a little floofer. Hopefully he stays asleep.
I needed more animals, so we got some more animals.
He's a cuddle bug. It's fine. All right. Who's starting off?
Back to Force of Will stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and start it up. So this we're gonna go over Lenneth. Lenneth is the buy a box promo. It's cool because it doesn't specify a number of boxes, so it's assumed one box, and we're gonna get it. So there should be a bunch of these available. It should just be flooded everywhere, just piles of them.
It's assumed. I think it's pretty much confirmed. It's the buy one box promo, so it'll be inside the box. You don't have to worry about distributors hoarding them and stuff. And so I think it's actually a really smart idea to use as the buy a box because you pretty much are guaranteed to have it. And if you don't buy a box, it's going to be so cheap on the secondary market because of how many there'll be. So we talked about it a little bit, so we'll go over it relatively quickly.
So we have Lenneth, the Priestess of Valle, Solaria. She's a priest, and it has a ability of Stranger 10. It says you may begin the game with a Stranger deck of exactly 10 Stranger Resonators. You may not have more than 2 copies of any card in the Stranger deck. Judgment cost of 3 is 2 white and a red. Energize of white or red. Whenever she has ability of whenever Regalia enters the field under your control, choose one.
Light Regalia.
Did I miss a word? Okay.
Yeah. Whenever light Regalia.
Oh, you know what? I'm reading this on the database because it was easier for me to read, and he did not put light Regalia in there. Yeah. All right, so light Regalia. Let me know if we miss any others. Choose one if the Regalia is Catechus, which, am I mispronouncing that? Because I was listening to
it should be
WLTCG podcast, the guys in Dallas, and they're saying Caduceus.
No, it's not
Caduceus. Okay, so anyways, Catechus. Choose up to 2 instead. Choose a card from your Stranger deck at random and put it into your hand, or remove the top card of your deck from the game. Then draw a card, or remove target Resonator with total cost 1 or less from the game, or you may pay 0 to do Judgment until end of turn.
Now try and keep that in the back of your mind, everything you just said, just the general idea of it. Like a police sketch of something, just the general idea.
What are you hinting at, Colin?
Nothing. We'll talk about it later.
I don't know. Anyways, it's interesting because of the mill strategy is because she's from Valle, which is what Alice Harris is from there. Didn't he have that card that was a addition field that came into play? So it's funny that the mill strategy is kind of still there, that it's removing cards from their own deck.
And it's removing it from game, which is what he's all about and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool. It might be like a secret jutsu that only their tribe knows or something like that.
Yeah. So
jutsu, Colin.
What about thoughts on like the fact that it has technically a judgment of 2? If you think about it, you just cost, I guess turn 2 is you have the stone, you energize, throw down the Catechus, and then you just flip, right? Because you can just judgment for 0.
Yeah. Well,
did you say you called the stone?
It's not even.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's turn 2 because you've already called the stone.
It's turn 2 with energize is what he's saying.
Yeah.
And it's even more than that because you say 2 because of that's how much the regalia costs. But if you play anything, such as a stranger, by tapping the regalia, you essentially have gotten a bunch of stuff for 2 or for free essentially at the end of the day. So there's a lot of stuff that could be going on there. Not that it's necessarily a great strategy to Judgment.
I think it's
turn 2 with the 1 stone on the field, but yeah.
I think it's pretty crappy.
Well, I mean, let's see what the J Ruler has. Maybe it's worth it.
All right. And if you're wondering, this is the J Ruler side. We didn't accidentally click back on the ruler side.
I was waiting for something. He was gonna say something.
Yeah,
He's already throwing in his little sneaky snide comments about how he doesn't like stuff.
All right, so J Ruler is Lenith, the Priestess of Elsa Varriya. J Ruler, 12 protective deities.
It's an 11-14.
It's an 11-14.
It is.
J Ruler. That it's light and fire. Colin wants me to read everything in order. Enter when you target.
That's
you
an arrow.
Didn't let me get
Oscar,
there, you did not
forgot
let me
the
get there.
arrow.
I just wanted the attack and defense, and Oscar's like, yeah, I guess that means he wants everything in the card because one of the 3 main things you say before you
You didn't even let me get there. That's all I'm saying.
You didn't. You didn't.
See, did y'all miss not having, like, 'cause we were lacking content for a little bit. Right? Did y'all miss us? Okay.
I
Enter
missed this.
Arrow. Remove target non-J Ruler, non-magic entity from the game. God's Art is Power of Magna. You pay 2 a white and a red. Choose a card from your stranger deck at random and put it into your hand. Then you may put a stranger from your hand into the field.
So here's where judgmenting like turn 2 could potentially be viable. Is because you're putting an 11-14 into the field, turn 2. You're removing whatever your opponent has in the field from game, whether it be an addition or a resonator or a regalia. And you can next turn tap your regalia to God's Art and put a stranger in the field and stuff like that. So like, depending on the cards that are revealed, this not that it would be a good one, but there is scenarios where judgment in turn 2 is not the worst.
Okay, time out.
Okay.
1. I've reread Catechist because I don't know if I'd read the version. You can't J-activate using Catechist.
We never said you could. So the front side, in case anyone wasn't paying attention, like Joey, one of the abilities is when a light regalia comes in, you pay 0 to judgment.
Yeah, I get it. I gotcha.
And that's why I specifically said it technically is 0, because then you can tap the regalia to play the stranger that you could have in your hand or something like that.
Which is like you'll have 2 strangers in hand because you could choose that ability to draw a card from your stranger deck, and then the judge a card because you can pick 2, right?
That's right. You can instant God's Art when she comes
choose
over
to
if you do that with the regalia.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's pretty solid, especially depending on the stranger. We've seen some pretty strong strangers. The random effect is still there, and it looks like that's what they're going for across the board. It's just there. As of right now, there's no mechanism to choose a stranger you grab out of your 10-card deck. So you have, what would that be, a 50% chance of grabbing, not 50%, I'm done.
10%?
No, 20% chance of grabbing the card that you specifically want. Although you might want all the cards if you do your deck.
10% chance.
No, if there's 2 of each card, that's 5 different types of cards. 5 goes into 120 times.
Assuming you grab both cards, I was just thinking about using just her enter ability or God's Art.
That's what I'm saying. There's a 20% chance of you grabbing a single card that you want. You could let guys in the comments. My math is right, but
there's a 10% chance because you're getting 1 out of 10 cards that you want.
But if you run 2 of each card, then there's only 5 types of cards in there.
You can only run. Oh yeah, you're right.
Oh my God.
I thought it was I thought Stranger Deck was only 1 of each.
I don't argue with Colin when it comes to math because I'm not great at math.
Well, I'm not.
No,
I'm not
Joey the rule shark is forgetting every rule we've said so far.
I'm forgetting all the past rules that we went over.
Okay, but
right,
so that's the ruler.
And Catechist again is a red and a white, and it's a mythic, which we found out from another one means you can only control 1 at a time in your field of the given name. We'll get
Which
to
is
our minor
cool,
text in
yeah.
a second. Your J ruler gains drain, and it can tap to produce 2 wills in any combination of white and or red. Spend this will only to play strangers, mage arts, or activate abilities of 12 protective deities, which the God's Art is an activated ability of a 12 protector deity.
And we don't know what mage arts are as of
No,
right
yeah,
now.
it'd be interesting. That'd be
I feel
cool
like
to see what
mage
that
arts
is.
are probably going to be like they're like strangers gods arts, but they're not.
I
Gods
was
arts, they're gonna be
thinking
like mage
more
arts.
it's going to be like chants that have the
Eh,
mage
I feel like
arts
that's
the
too
way
easy,
ancient magic had.
It could be, yeah.
I'm still going with like abilities that strangers get, like mini gods
Yeah.
arts.
We'll see. We'll see.
All right, so we'll move on from there unless you had anything else to add about her possible combos, but we haven't seen too much yet.
Yeah, not too much. And we've
Yeah,
talked about some of it already.
I'll let one of you guys take this next one.
I'll
Joey?
take Excalibur. We're doing Excalibur, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a blue-white regalia. Mythic, so it explains if you control 2 or more entities with mythic that share a name, banish all but one of them. Your jailer gains +4/+4. You can rest it, produce 2 wills in any combination of white and such or blue. Spend this will and play God's Arts abilities, strangers, or sword arts. Oh.
So, 2 things. One, I really like the art. I like just like the big blue of it. Like this would be really pretty as a full art.
No, they did great on this artwork. Like it's very blue-white
Yeah.
feel to it. If you just remove all the text, everything on it, just the artwork itself, it's very blue-white.
Yeah. Second, you starting to. So this is cool. I always like this sort of passive buffing of your J ruler. That's one of the reasons I really liked, and I even still to this day in like my wander decks and stuff. I play the. I forget the name of it now. The 3-cost regalia. That buffs your J ruler and stuff.
The cat? Schrodinger's cat?
No.
I think I know what he's talking about.
Yeah, I blanked
The
on
other
it.
Excalibur, right?
It might be.
The one
But
yeah.
Where you can't be targeted by spells and abilities,
Right.
but yeah. So and so
Oh. Excalibur X or whatever.
we also don't know what sword arts are, right? Unless I'm forgetting something.
No, I don't think so, but it does sound like they're going to have... Huh?
We've it's in the spoilers, I think.
Okay.
Oh,
is
okay.
it- okay.
Then we'll see you later.
Which is why I think that the mage arts is the parentheses things because the sword art is the same thing.
Oh, so Oscar has prior knowledge. I see how it is.
So, but yeah. So that's that one. Next up,
Mm-hmm.
we got Varriya,
Varriya.
which I really like the art on this one. Oh, let me go to the front side. So it's a ruler
Well, I don't get
girl.
to. I don't get to read Varriya. Whatever.
What? No.
I
You
took
had
the rulers at both sides and the regalia. I think.
I know you did, but I don't get to read Varriya. It's fine. I don't need to.
You don't, because you won't remember what you read anyways. So she has Stranger 10, Judgment, 2 white and a blue, Energize for white or blue. Whenever a light regalia enters the field under your control, choose 1. If the regalia is Excalibur, choose 2 instead. Choose a card from your Stranger deck at random and put it into your hand, or destroy target rest or resonator, or draw a card, or you may pay 0 to do Judgment until end of turn. So what I wanted to point out, and so I'm going to back up real quick to the Excalibur, in case you guys missed it. Excalibur is very similar to the other regalia. It has similar typing of abilities, just slightly altered to fit this different deck. And now going to Varriya on the ruler side, it's functionally identical to the other ruler, just slightly altered so that it's different, so it doesn't have the remove from game because that's more towards her, but it's functionally identical. And someone had posted a pretty good breakdown of it, of like it has Stranger, Judgment, Energize. Whenever insert regalia enters the field in your control, choose 1. If the regalia is blank, choose 2 instead. And then it's like, and then it goes to the things of drawing something from your Stranger deck, destroy or doing something to a resonator, some sort of draw power, and then doing 0 to Judgment is essentially what the pattern looks like. And we'll get this fully confirmed when we see Melgus, but it looks like a sort of copy paste pattern.
See, I'm straying on like the positive side, where I think this is just like never mind.
Well,
I was thinking about the dual decks, but it's not. I have Melgus as the other dual
They're
deck.
different.
No.
But what I will say is I had this conversation with Sam is like the part of this that I don't necessarily like is it's very cookie cutter. I said the term I've been using since we saw these, in that it's not as exciting. But I do like them much better than the Divinity Rulers, because the Divinity Rulers are just too plain. It's just they depended on the rune deck. What I don't like it more than is Rulers of the Past, where it's like I got super unique stuff. Well, Sir Ayu, Prisha, Fox, whatever it is, right? You know, all those really unique things that were like, I modeled my deck after this, and it's really cool. As opposed to this, which is, like I said, it's just very cookie cutter, but like better than what we had before. It's this weird kind of in the middle.
It's halfway. It'll be hard to. I think it'll be easier to tell once we play with the Stranger deck if it's actually better than before. Because at least with the runes, you have the master runes and stuff that add that sort of flavor to the ruler, especially the rune master runes that can't like go anywhere else. So there is that aspect to it that made them feel unique. And especially, like you said, Rulers of the Past is just like a huge smorgasbord of like just crazy. Oh, this one does this and this and this, and so this just feels underwhelming, especially for revisiting Alice cluster.
Yeah, I would want to see what a lot of the Strangers do. We've only seen a couple that we'll be getting to here in a second, but the starter decks each come with 5, I'm assuming unique Strangers to the decks at 2 each. So I definitely want to obviously play with it and see kind of how that feels. But as in relation to the past, it's not as good. But in relation to like Divinity Rulers, I like it better.
Yeah, I really like Divinity Rulers though, so I'll have to wait and see.
They're okay.
And the front side, and you might be so for people who are like, oh, maybe that promo ruler was just the same art because it's a promo card technically, even though it's the only way you could get the ruler. This basically confirms that, at least for this set, all the rulers are just copy paste of art on both sides. The art on the back side is really cool though compared to the front. I like the little wings and stuff, but yeah. So that I'm really bummed out about that. But
I like her face better on the front side though.
Oh yeah, I see.
Anyways, go ahead.
So she's a 10/10 7 keens with precision. She has an enter effect. Choose a card from your Stranger deck at random and put it into the field. God's Art, Breath of the Sacred Queen, which is a white and a blue. This card gains 4/4, drain, and eternal until end of turn. Choose a card from your Stranger deck at random and put it into your hand.
Huh. So I'm liking her much better than the promo that we saw.
Yeah, definitely.
Jumping into the Varriya at that turn 2 play, whatever it is, feels much better on this ruler than it does on the other one, because of the ability of choose a random stranger and put it into the field.
Right, but I kind of like Colin's point that I guess they're both random. Never mind.
It depends on it could be depending on what the meta is as well. If it's a very aggressive meta, then the other ruler is better because it helps with that removal and stuff. Though I guess it depends on what your Stranger deck is made up of, I suppose.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like it.
What is entering play as opposed to this one's random, but it's I still like it.
Yeah. No, it's it's definitely more of my style of especially the.
I will say, I'm still not sold that this is going to be the templating for all the other rulers. I'm hoping this is only
one other ruler this set, so I'm
really.
I think it's a safe assumption.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The 2 starter deck rulers and then the buy a box promo ruler.
Oh.
And then
I thought we were getting 10 rulers.
Well, throughout the whole cluster, yeah.
Oh.
No, we're gonna probably get more than that by the end of the cluster, but.
Okay, well.
Yeah. I really like last cluster, how last cluster started, but, this could work out as well with the smaller sets.
We'll see how this goes.
I was thinking this would be the same start as last cluster, where you get every dual colored pair.
It wouldn't work with the smaller booster boxes. You just physically couldn't have enough support.
We had already seen that there was going to be a star deck release at the beginning of each set, so we already knew that's like Castle Chronicles, where it's going to be a new one each time. So we'll see new rulers next time as well.
Yeah.
So something that is a big takeaway on this J ruler side that I didn't click to. I was listening to the WLTCG podcast and they brought it up, and I was like, oh wow, I didn't even realize it. is that her typing of 7 kings is Fueling and Wanderer Vow 2. Because Vow 2 just asks you to get 7 kings with different names and to remove them, and then she gains all their gods arts and names.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool, at least.
Yeah. Some cool shenanigans. We'll see what the was it Wanderer Committee.
And so going into the new cards, I'm arranged by name now, just so you guys know.
Okay.
So it starts at number 1.
Okay. On these cards, I don't know if I mentioned in the beginning, we're going to go over all the new ones first, or just brand new to this thing, because there are some reprints. We'll do the reprints afterwards. For those of you who are new to the game or weren't around for Alice Cluster, you could get kind of our opinions on what those were. For those of you who are new, you can kind of get through this part. Yeah, you can get to this part and then just kind of cut out after that if you want to.
All right, go ahead, Oscar.
All right, first one is Parry. It's a 1-cost white quick cast chant sword art.
This sword art.
Prevent all damage that would be dealt by target's chant, spell, or ability until end of turn. Draw a card.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's really solid.
That's so flavorful and cool. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, because it's the whole like chink chink counter. I really hate this art. I hate this art so much. Whatever that horse thing is. Oh,
it's cool. It's alright.
Whatever's there is it's like not much effort there, but it's really cool looking.
It's cool. I think it looks cool.
Yeah.
No, I don't like it.
Okay, I just realized it's a horse dude that's like using a katana. That's
not a katana, but yeah. No, I think this is a solid card. This is the type of card that I would have ran back in when during Alice Cluster. I ran these types of yellow cards and stuff like that.
That's strong.
But it's a lot stronger than these types of cards we usually see, and that's probably because it's a rare, and these types of cards are usually like the uncommon. So.
Yeah, and I mean, this also cantripping and drawing a card is really good. Like,
and you
don't really think about it, but it's good.
Am I wrong in thinking like if you don't have the first part, you can just draw the card, or am I wrong on
that? No.
Period.
You have to have something to target.
Yeah. And I like it because especially a lot of times it's like, oh, you're going against a, say, burn or aggressive deck that we've seen people play, and especially like I've played against the deck that has the chant that deals 2,000 damage to you, and it's like, oh man, I can't do anything about that unless I'm running green to cancel it. Essentially, is your only avenue, and so this gives white and potentially other colors that run 2 colors an avenue to actually counter these big burn spells or even the small ones, anything really, and then also give you that draw power, which I think is cool.
I'm disappointed this doesn't stop like attacking resonators. It would be way too strong if it did, but I feel like
that'd be super strong.
I feel like that's part of like parrying something, like I don't know.
But it's also white. White deals in like magical stuff, so it makes sense. It would parry the spells with its magical sword. But yeah,
cool card.
Or Joey,
Light of Sacred Spirit. So 1-cost white quick cast chant sword art. Choose one. If you control Lars, Knight of the Sacred Spirit, you may choose both instead. Remove target resonator with 900 attack or more from the game, or search your deck for a 5 hero resonator, reveal it, and put it into your hand.
That's potentially solid.
Yeah.
The searching for 5 hero, I don't know if that's good or not, but
potentially the five heroes sounds super awesome.
1-cost quick cast, removing a 900 or more power attack resonator from the game is potentially really solid, especially with the higher power we've seen, especially in the stranger decks tend to be a higher attack and defense. So this could prove actually really nice in decks.
My only issue is it seems super dead like early in the game. So like you're just,
unless you're trying to ramp for a 5 hero.
Yeah, but I don't even know. Like that's still a bad effect for a one. Like,
well, it's a quick cast.
I personally don't like.
Usually these search ones are not quick cast, so you're able to have open will for parry or something like that. And if you don't use it, you got this to search your 5 hero and stuff.
Yeah,
I think it's decent.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Ouroboros, the Reincarnating Light Serpent.
Hey,
I love this art.
We haven't been reading our flavor text.
There's too many cards. But I love this art so much. It's a 2000, 5 cost, 12 protective deities. Enter. Target player's life becomes 2000. White and red. Put this card from your hand into your stranger deck. Choose a card from your stranger deck at random and put it into your hand. The wording of that, there's technically a chance you could put this in your stranger deck and then draw it out by accident again.
Yeah.
Pointing
That's
that
why
out.
it's reincarnating, though.
Yeah, it's terrible reincarnation. So I think that
Well,
second...
I mean, you're sneaking in a 5 cost for 2. Actually, you're sneaking in a 5 cost for just happened to regalia.
What? No. You put it
What?
into your
No,
hand,
no.
Oscar.
Yeah.
Anyways...
Well,
ignoring
no, but yeah.
Ignoring Oscar's
You're
comment.
playing this from your hand, too. But,
yeah, you're playing this from your... Yeah, I think that's a terrible ability. But
I don't think... Well, say okay, but you can also pay it with Catechist, which is part of the point of it.
Cool.
yeah, but if you pull it out, then it's a net 0.
Do it before your recovery, man.
It's still a net 0.
Yeah, but it feels bad.
Yeah.
Anyways, and
I
the
think
card
it's
itself, I think, is super solid. A 5 cost 2020 that potentially, if there's a way to cheat this out early game, potentially indirectly does 2,000 damage to your opponent, but their life just becomes 2,000, so there's no way for them to, if there's some sort of shenanigan to gain life back or anything like that, there's nothing that can happen. So
Yeah. Well, no. Does becoming 2,000? Wouldn't that bypass like no life gain clauses?
That's
That's what I
Right.
said.
I thought he was saying the other way, like the opposite way. Like
This
if somebody
bypasses
has-
most stuff.
Yeah.
And it can't be countered by something that says, "Oh, it can't be countered by parry or anything like that."
Wasn't Ouroboros red in Alabaster?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah, that's weird. That's
Well,
very
he's
interesting.
reincarnated, so he died as red and came back as light. Maybe. He's
But
good now. He just
but we're in the
looks
past,
scary.
so he died as white and came back as red, right?
I don't.
You got him. He now Colin's like, I don't know the lore anymore.
And all the people at Force of Will are like, "Yeah, I don't know either. Your guess is as good as mine."
I mean, it makes
He's
sense.
reaching.
So he
He's
has
reaching.
the white red ability. I don't know. He's cool. He's pretty cool.
I love his design though.
Yeah, he was red in the past.
Oscar.
Okay, get there. Okay, next one is Izanami, the god of life. 3 cost, 2 white, 1 void, 800, 800. Resonator, 12 protective deities. She has Drain and Barrier Resonator, and you gain Barrier. She has an active ability of pay 2 white, a red,
shit.
discard this card, put target Resonator with total cost 3 or less from your graveyard into the field.
So
I like missed all of that like info dump because I just had my mind blown, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the 12 protective deities are they transform into the 12 apostles, and Izanami was the black apostle and Ouroboros was another apostle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like
welcome to like 3 weeks ago.
okay, I haven't been looking at any of these spoilers at all. So I have not been following Reddit, Facebook and Reddit threads and stuff. So
you're
this
saying
is my first. Yeah, this is my first.
we need to look at all 12 apostles and then just assume they'll come back as another color.
Yeah, pretty much.
Does that mean
They'll come
Adam
back
Rose
as a
has to be blue anymore?
previous color.
But yeah, I think that it's a solid 3-drop. It's not like crazy, but 3 costs 8/8 with Drain and Barrier and gives you Barrier. I don't know if giving you Barrier will be well, actually, giving yourself Barrier will protect you against Ouroboros because it actually targets the
Really?
player. For the first time in Force Will history, something targets a player, so giving yourself Barrier
Well,
actually matters.
The whole point of targeting a player is that you can make yourself gain life. So if you're at like 800 life, you can go back up to 2,000 life.
Yeah, or you can make your opponent go down to that. My point is,
What if your opponent is already at below 2,000 life? Then maybe you want to
usually in Force Will's Pass, it wouldn't say target player's life becomes 2,000. It would say choose a player, their life becomes 2,000. So it doesn't technically target. That's literally the history of Force
That's a good
Will.
point.
And they've made like 85 cards that are like, oh, you as a player gain Barrier against
That's a
all
good
one
point.
card we've ever printed that targets your opponent. That has never been relevant in any meta ever.
Well,
That's always
I
been
think
my
she's
pet
cool.
peeve. But yeah, no, I think she's a
think she's
solid
cool.
card. When we originally saw it, we thought her theme was pay 3 while she's in the field to put a 3 cost or less in, and we're like, oh, this is amazing. And then saw this, and it's not bad, but it went. Yeah. I'm still recovering from that initial thought, so it's hard for me to judge how good it actually is because it
was a shock.
Drain barrier is good.
Next up, we got our first stranger, so it's Baratos the Crimson Duke. Parenthesis. I don't know why they put parenthesis stranger.
Con, it's Barbados.
Oh, I didn't see the B.
Barbatos.
Barbados. Barbatos is a 1-cost 7/7 Resonator Stranger Demon with swiftness. Enter, rest all other J Resonators.
Holy shit!
So you can see the power level of strangers. You can't
have strangers in your regular deck, right?
We're gonna assume no.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
Fingers crossed we get a CR.
Yeah, that's probably going to be the CR update. Damn, he's awesome.
Is it? Yeah, because if you could put this in your deck, it would be straight broken.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, there's nowhere. There's
no way 1-cost 7/7 swiftness that rests the entire board, Joey. You just run a playset of these, and at some point you'll just win passively.
You're right. There's no way this could go in your main deck. That's impossible. Oh, he's awesome. I love him.
And you can see we also got a new border specifically for strangers, which is what I wanted them to do for runes, because it's what I had said, where they're just copying Caster Chronicles. I'm gonna assume whoever did Caster Chronicles is just in charge of Force of Will now. But I personally hate this border, but I prefer this over to the generic, just what runes were. But come on, focus, okay? You could do it. Whatever. But it I'm not a fan of this border, but it's something at least. They tried.
I think it's okay. I like it enough.
Yeah. I'm hoping that all the stranger mechanics are like what we've seen, where it's grab something at random and then at some point you can play it type of thing. And it's like not too often you're able to grab stuff from your stranger deck. It could spiral out pretty quick.
The Regalia entering play just is getting the cards to hand already, and then with Catechist just dropping us into play when you need it.
Yeah. But it's still random cards that you get. So it's He's great though. We'll is that Oscar next?
No, it's you.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
No, it's Oscar.
Aggravating.
Oscar's
great.
Well,
yeah.
Then we skipped him.
It is Oscar.
No, Joey did. Wait, you did Izanami.
I did Izanami. Yeah, you jumped.
Okay.
Joey's turn.
Joey, go ahead.
With Baratos. Aggravating, the hard hand. He is a 1-cost yellow, 400, Knight of the Round Table, barrier black, barrier red. I did that backwards, but barrier red, black. I don't know.
He's been reading a lot of manga.
White, target resonator gains barrier red and barrier black until end of turn.
No, they get barrier black and barrier red. Real quick, two things real quick. One, what I found really aggravating about this card is why does it say barrier red and then barrier black?
Yeah,
We've always had barrier and then just shows the two symbols it has barrier against. Why? This is just extra effort on their part. I'm super confused why this changed.
I agree.
But it's an eye of the round table, which is cool.
Either way.
That's good for Wander as well. It's just straight up an eye of the round table. And I thought it was pretty solid being able just to pay white and get something barrier against red and black, which is two of the more aggressive decks in the meta.
And he doesn't have to tap or anything for it, which is nice. He's a 4/4 already. He's pretty beefy.
He's just a
pretty
solid
beefy
drop.
boy.
And if history repeats itself, especially with the reprints, there'll probably be plenty of stuff that's passively buffing Knights of the Round Table, so he's probably going to be stronger than this.
Might be more useful too once we see some more red and black cards gaining those barriers.
But you could have 4 of these in your deck, so that's super solid.
Are you ready for the next one?
Yeah. Whoa.
All right. So next one up is a Stella, the Fallen Angel of Desolation. It's a stranger with 3 cost, all black, 10/10, and it's a Fallen Angel / deity with flying and drain. At the beginning of each player's turn, that player banishes a non-Fallen Angel resonator.
This one I think is okay.
Yeah.
I don't think this is as groundbreaking as the last Stranger.
Yeah, you're right. It's
But
still
this
really
one's a
good.
higher rarity than the last Stranger.
Well, Estima is pretty
Was
cool
it?
though.
Yeah, the other one was
Yeah,
a rare.
she's a
This is
super rare.
this one's an SR.
Was this
So-
the first super rare we've seen?
No.
Oh.
So this one, I guess, 3 cost 10/10 with flying and drains. Not that great. Like swing in, gain. 10,000
We just
life.
saw
Yeah.
a 1 cost 7/7 with swiftness. So I think jumping up to 3 times the cost of the other one, but it only goes up 300 attack and it doesn't have swiftness. They exchange that for flying and drain is okay. And the other one enters in and rests everything, whereas this one maybe banishes something your opponent has unless you're in a mirror match. And hopefully you're not running anything that's not a fallen angel, because then you'll have to banish
Which you
it as
probably
well.
are.
Yeah. So.
Personally, I'm gonna more side with Colin that I think the 1 cost red guy is better.
I'm not saying this
because
is bad,
he-
but yeah.
He also enables a bunch of attacking.
I would
but
say the
I do
1 cost
think
red
she's
is better,
awesome.
but I don't think this is bad. Is all
Right,
I'm
no,
saying.
Yeah,
this
that's what
is
I
great.
just said. I just saying in comparison to the other one, this one I feel like is down a notch, especially for this being an SR. But yeah, it's definitely solid. Yeah, and not like black needs anything crazy anyway, so I think that's fine.
And that white card gets around this, right? Banishing as a cost. It was a white card,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah, that's right.
all right, next up, this will be Joey.
Oh, yes. Heroic Spirit of Valle. 2 cost, 600, 600. Heroic Spirit. Remove this card in your hand from the game. This card deals 200 damage to target Resonator.
So I don't have a reference, but this seems decent for a normal rarity.
What?
You know what I was thinking when I saw this? Is I was like thinking of Joey's, what was it called? Your Fire Drake, and what's his name?
What fire?
Genshi, right?
Oh, Genshi Tensen? Yeah.
Like, because if it's buffing those damages plus what? How much is it more? 4?
400.
Yeah, so just
Oh, so it's a
discard
free
those things for
cost,
free.
600.
Yeah. Hey guys, this card sucks. I think it's awful.
I think for a
It's
normal
bad.
rarity, it's decent, especially when you go to pre-release.
Well,
I
okay.
think this is going to be solid at pre-release.
Yeah. I think on top of that, we need to see what kind of removal mechanics are working with this, because like back in the day, there was reasons to get certain cards outside the game for other.
Yeah,
reasons.
you're right. You're right.
So
You're right.
if
And
this
he is
has
also
a
Varriya.
reason to remove
Yeah.
from game, it may need to be ran. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Joey
yeah.
doesn't want to hear it.
No, he's definitely. I think he's probably pretty good in with the Valle, what they want to do.
Yeah.
And
With
it's
Leonard
just seems so bad. It's like, hey, how
Well,
about
yeah,
you? How
I
about you
don't
lose
think
out on
it's-
card advantage for 200 damage? 200 damage is a lot of damage, though.
So if it was discard 200, draw a card.
Oh fuck yeah, that'd be so good.
What if it was just a discard 600?
That's a free loot. That'd be super good,
what
huh?
about, What about the 2/6/6? That 2 cost 6/6 just in the field.
No, that sucks.
Okay, I just wanted to cover all the bases.
Like,
Alright,
okay, make this deal like 500 damage or 400
Alright,
damage.
we're
400
not-
damage would be pretty
We're not
good.
bartering for card design as we're looking at spoilers.
I'm just saying that makes this card way better.
Next up, we have
200 damage.
Bewildering Charm. It's a 1 cost quick cast. Chant Mage art. Okay, this is a Mage art. Quick cast.
yeah.
Choose 1. Return target resonator to its owner's hand or draw a card. That's pretty decent for a bounce. I run Skyfalls inside of my machine deck because a 1 cost quick cast bounce is super solid actually. So having this,
Yeah, you're right.
yeah. Good, Oscar.
Oh, when I first saw it, I was like, "Oh my god, this is like super amazing!" Like, bounce a dude, draw a card. But I was like, "Oh, or draw the card, choose 1." So
Oh, Oscar
Totally
wants it to
back.
be broken. I like the
It's-
choice though.
sorry, I'm used to decisive battle of the
if you're
Hollows, so.
if your opponent's not having an aggressive deck, or like once I get a certain point in my machine deck with Lancelot and everything firing off, I don't need Skyfall because I'm controlling their field better because I'm destroying it. You have a substitute option of drawing a card, which is never a bad thing inside of a deck. So it's just a pot of greed if you want it to be, essentially.
You're right. It is pretty annoying.
Yeah, I think
It's nice that it's gonna be really good that it can be played with your regalia and stuff. That's gonna be
Yeah, I didn't think about that part. But do you play this, Colin, instead of Skyfall, or you still play
Yeah.
Skyfall?
What is the incentive
I
to play
could-
Skyfall?
Well, I couldn't tell your phrasing there, so I was double checking. I thought you were saying
Skyfall is literally
edition.
a 1 cost bounce, And if you control a machine, it becomes quick cast. This is a passively 1-cost quick cast, and we don't have to worry about Fairy Spell anymore.
Yeah, this card is really nice.
And it has the secondary option, so I'm guaranteed the quick cast at all times, and I have the draw a card option.
Think about like Dragon's Lord's Breath and the other Shale's Return. Like this is just better than both of them. And it will maybe not Dragon's Lord's Breath because that had other modes, but for the bounce, like. This is a crazy 1-cost tempo.
Think of Erudite versus Keys' Call. One is they're both functionally identical, but Keys' Call you draw a card. It's just better.
Yeah, bounce is really gross tempo. Like if somebody taps out for like a 3-cost and you just bounce them next turn, they just almost wasted their turn. Like it feels really bad. So I'll definitely put.
You know what's great is now that I'm thinking about it. You know what? Real quick, I'm backtracking because I was like, oh yeah, because someone could tap out to play Ouroboros, and I was playing out scenario in my head. Ouroboros could actually turn out to be a terrible card because what is the scenario? You have Ouroboros in hand, okay? You're winning. You're at 4,000 life. Your opponent, you got down to 800 life, and the only card you have in hand is Ouroboros. What do? You either come in and you put yourself down to 2,000 life, or you heal me up to 2,000 life. You have to. It's not a you may target a player. It's target player's life.
Man, it's
that just like, retroactively came in.
Almost like there's an ability that he has that cycles them back into your stranger's deck, so you don't have to use them. Maybe I'd play that ability.
And then you draw them again, and where were you at, Joey? Anyways, next up, Oscar.
Next up is
I love
another
this
stranger.
art.
I just want to point out real quick. I don't know if we mentioned it. A lot of the strangers, if you haven't noticed, are old original Valhalla artwork, which that was pretty cool. Just want to point that out.
Was Astema? No, Astema wasn't.
They're all Valhalla artwork.
Oh.
It went to a ruler, to the resonator, and now another resonator. This is Rahab, the Emperor Dragon of Riptide, stranger, 3-cost with 3 blue. At the 10/10. Dragon, flying, enter, draw 2 cards.
I think that's pretty solid. The Grudge is getting Joey at the moment, so he'll be back in a sec. But are you seeing that too, Oscar?
No, I'm clicking away at the images.
Yeah, I
don't have
one
screen up right now.
Okay. Well, this is absolutely terrifying. I'll let the audience. I'm gonna keep this on the screen so the audience can see what I'm seeing.
He's super cool. I like
so
him. I like him a lot.
He looks normal to me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. Colin's internet is dying because of all the training.
Probably.
It could.
I think it's a cool card. Potentially free as well when you judgment.
Drawing 2 cards, pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's pretty solid.
Yeah, pretty solid, pretty simple. Nothing too crazy on it.
Maybe 1 in my stranger's deck though. You know, I don't know if I want 2 of these in there. I don't know if I want to draw 4 cards.
Depending on the circumstances, yeah, still solid. 10/10, yeah, flying, draw 2 cards.
Doesn't have drain,
Yeah,
not quite as good as Astema.
Yeah, but I prefer this ability over Astemas. But yeah, it's solid.
Blue deck.
Yeah, blue likes drawing 2 cards.
Yeah, I know it's a joke because he didn't want Stem, which is a black card. He wants the blue card instead.
I see.
Next, Joey.
Dark Indication, 1-cost black. Chant. Your opponent reveals their hand. Choose a chant or an addition. They discard that card.
Yeah, because I was talking to Oscar the other day. I was like, man, I really wish the game had more discard. There isn't enough, and I want to run a discard deck, but I have no options. Especially 1-cost discard. Like, how am I supposed to play if my opponent can still sometimes draw a card when I'm not able to quick cast, make them discard with the giant?
Okay, to be fair, this card sucks. So
we don't know that right now because
good.
This is a solid card, especially with additions and chance making a comeback, especially with the reprints. I think this is going to be a solid addition to your discard deck with Thought Control rotating. You're just going to fill that slot with this card instead.
Name is better, wasn't it?
Huh?
Name is Mist is a non-resonator card. Yeah.
And you gained a +1/+1 counter.
Yeah. No, I don't think this is that great as far as discard goes, but it'll be nice once the set.
But people are going to run it, is what I'm saying.
You don't have to run this.
I think Collins he has to run it in his Epic Stories deck, which is stupid.
Oh yeah, I do. I gotta find a slot for that.
We played that the other day with somebody, and it was pretty dumb.
And they targeted me, and spoiler, I don't think I've ever won epic stories with that deck, but everyone always like gains up on me.
Probably shouldn't be a dick. Yeah. I was like, man, I play really lame decks that people hate. I don't know why they're getting up on me because they hate me.
Get mad at Force Wolf for pretty discard all the time. Jeez.
On top of that, he's like, I'm not a threat. It's like, well, if we didn't touch you, then you would be a threat.
First off,
I was like, man, I hate discard.
I have no win conditions in the deck.
It's not
like,
my fault, Force Wolf.
I only play resonators that have like enter effects of discarding. I don't have no like real resonators.
Right,
so I can Judgment with Lucifer is my only win condition.
And you have stuff to pull them all back out. That's all I'm saying. Like, you have ways to get them back out.
Also, I would target you.
Anyways, we got on a side.
He's a cheater.
We got on a side tangent here, so let's.
He broke the rules of epic stories and ran a non-attribute.
Colin broke the rules of epic stories.
I can't believe
Next card, Colin.
Berserk Dragon, Stranger, 3 cost 2,400. Stranger Dragon with flying. Awakening 2. Enter. This card gains swiftness until end of turn. At end of turn, his controller banishes it.
Oh no.
This is what I'm talking about. This is a card. This is a Mandy card.
I mean, a 3 cost 2,000, I guess, for flying, but then you're paying 5. Because you have to play this from
Oscar.
the Awakening.
Oscar.
It doesn't just come into play, right?
Oscar.
Yeah, you're right.
Oscar, would you pay 5 to deal 2,000 to your opponent? That's my question to you.
No.
I would pay 3.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay 3 to deal 2. I mean, yes, of course I would, but I'm saying that's ridiculous.
You're running a red deck that has strangers that are 1-drops that have swiftness and rest everything, so you can guarantee 700 to your opponent. And then, so by turn 5, there's no way your opponent is not at 2,000 life. So paying 5 to just kill your opponent, I think it's great.
Know what? Yeah, and you're running Lenneth, which is a white-red deck, so you're running Ouroboros too, huh?
Interesting.
And you're not paying 5.
Chances
you're
this
not
gets in.
Paying 5. You have a Regalia already in the field, most likely, that's helping pay for this. So you're paying
I would pay 5
to do 2,000.
I would pay 5 to have a Berserk Dragon come in and die because it has 400 defense. That's what I'd pay for it. I would be like,
Joey?
yes,
You're not running the free cost card that you can discard 2 of to kill it, so I don't know how you're going to kill it.
maybe my all my bolts that I have, all the 1 cost 500 damage cards.
But
which pretty sure.
I like this.
I don't know. There's a bunch of cards that deal 400 damage at quick cast speed.
Next up, Oscar.
Next up, Invasion of Allosaurus. It's a 2 cost, red and void. Chant Mage art. Remove the top 3 cards of your deck from the game. This card deals 100 damage multiplied by the combined total cost of the cards removed this way to target J/Resonator. And it has Remnant.
I like this card.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Like we had some of the keepers, right, back in the Moonlit Savior, who kind of had effects like this, where it's like you put them into play and you can either mill or remove from graveyard to do some burn effects. So,
well, I feel like this is much closer to the other 1 cost card, Oscar, that burnt your opponent based on the amount of remove from play cards. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Delta 100, yeah. Anyways,
I know what you're talking about.
100 times the number of cards in the removed area.
Yeah. This could be really annoying. It also could just be pretty terrible.
I'm gonna lean on the side of it not being terrible, but not being amazing. It's gonna need to see like strong support for that whole removal thing to really be.
Yeah,
I think there's probably a good chance we'll have.
If there
support.
not any support for it in the sets, but this is more of like a callback to like say actual Allosaurus and Wander, like. Maybe like you can help get some cards outside of the game a little quicker.
Mm-hmm. I just like what do you guys think the main like the most damage you're going to be dealing with this is? Like, you think you're going to hit like 800 and 900s pretty often?
I think 900 is going to be the most common one.
3 cards? What? Maybe average of 2 or 3?
I think there's a scenario where you run a bunch of high-cost cards and low-cost chants, and then all of your low-cost stuff is potentially in your Stranger deck, and so you do some sort of combination like that. That I could see a scenario like that.
Yeah, I'll go on a limb and say I'll say average 700, like anywhere from like down to up to type thing.
Yeah, so you could. That's how you kill that dragon, Joey. If you're not going to run the free cost.
Exactly. See right there.
pack. Oh no, you paid 2 and you remove 3 cards from game.
I would need 3 1 costs to not kill that dragon if I played this card.
Yeah.
But yeah. Who's next?
I guess that's a good point. This is minimum 300 damage.
Joey?
So yeah, Firefox. The browser. 1 cost. He's red 4/4 beast. Enter this card may deal 400 damage to you. If it does, this card deals +1/0 and swiftness
Gains plus
until end of turn. This card gains. I don't know why it said does.
and swiftness.
So a 1 cost that has 500 attack that deals
Oh,
5
yeah.
to you. Is that even worth it?
Oh yeah.
If you're doing a
Of course he
red-black
is.
deck also,
I'm playing this card in
100%.
every single deck I
yeah.
own. No,
I
I
think-
play this guy for sure.
Would you? Because like if it's in your
Oh,
Genshin
yeah.
deck, does that deal an additional 400 to you, or is that only when it's hitting like your opponent?
I don't know. I don't really care. It's gonna deal 900 to my opponent.
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's a good point.
No, this doesn't really fit into like Genshi because he doesn't like they don't really do the really fast 1-drops. But like this is like a red deck wins
So-
god.
I know we're not doing flavor text, but it says its
That'd be
heat.
right back.
Real quick, the flavor text says its heat can be felt directly. Is there any heat that can't be felt directly?
I don't know. Yeah. What if you feel it through your clothes? You know?
Then you're feeling it. Then your clothes are what you're feeling it, which you're feeling it directly through your clothes.
I don't know about that.
I just say that's the stupidest flavor text.
I think if Firefox said like it browses the planes, I think that would be pretty funny. Anyways, I think he's cool. His art looks pretty cool
it's
too.
cool. Yeah,
Dude, I'm definitely playing this in my like red deck with sandworm, scorpion, and all those other 1 costs that come out with swiftness and punch you in the face.
Yeah,
No, I think this
I can
card's
see that.
awesome. I'm pretty much if I'm playing red deck wins, I'm paying 400 damage to myself every single time.
oh yeah, I like it.
Sexy card.
All right. Next up, we got Valle the Bewildering Mage. It's a 2-cost 6/6 5 heroes. Oh, this is a 5 heroes. This card may not be banished as a cost to play a spell or ability. Enter, switch the control of this card, and target resonator your opponent controls.
Oh.
That's cool.
Oh.
I really like that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty
this
good
is
card.
really interesting. I like her a lot too. That's a
So you give it to your opponent, and your opponent can't do the whole trick of like, oh, I'm gonna banish this to Adam Broly or whatever.
that's true,
Like,
yeah.
It's just there.
I mean, he still gets to block and stuff with it, but assuming you make a better trade, this is
Yeah, you
pretty
grab their Ouroboros or something. I think it's pretty solid.
I was like, yeah, Ouroboros is what I would trade Ouroboros for this every
Well,
time.
it's also a 5 hero, so it's searched out by that lighted sacred spirit we saw.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I already brought that up, Oscar.
I like it.
Did
though.
you? I just got back.
I think it's solid.
I like it.
Starts,
I think
starts
it's
nice too.
So that's all the new cards. So if you guys have played Force of Will for more than a month, you can go away. We're gonna go over the reprints now.
don't actually go away though.
No, if you guys were here for Alice Cluster and you already seen the reprints, you understand what they do. You can always cut out.
But maybe
if
they
you
just
wanna
want to see what's getting reprinted.
Right, and if you want to see what's getting reprinted, maybe how it's gonna, our thoughts, what it could do with what's out now, and its power level comparison, then you can hang out. But if not, yeah, we'll take a look at these.
What's getting
But you-
reprinted, Joey?
What?
I say,
I-
what's
I-
getting reprinted? And I was gonna
I don't
say more than anyone thought was gonna get reprinted.
How are you sorted on here?
By name still. So Burn
Oh.
Desires is the first one.
Got it.
So this is Oscar.
All right, yeah. So yeah, Burn Ascenders, 2 costs, red, chant, quick cast. This card deals 700 damage to target J/Resonator. If it's a J ruler, it loses imperishable until end of turn. If it's a Resonator, and it would be put into the graveyard from the field this turn, remove it from the game instead.
So, question: are these legal or not? Did we find that out?
Yes, they have
Yeah,
the
these
set
are
number,
not-
so they're
these are not the memorial cards. Which
that's why I said it's more
Oh.
reprints than what anyone was expecting.
Oh,
So these
I
are-
see.
100% legal. There's still question, I think, but there's also assumption from people in the group. It's like, well, can I run the old cards? Are they legal? There's some things. I'll point one thing out here in a second that I was noticing. Actually, I didn't notice it. Sam noticed it. We were talking about it. But the memorials are the ones where it's iffy. We don't know if that's legal or not. We need to find out soon. But
Burn to Cinders was one of my favorite cards. So
Burn to Cinders is great.
And I think this is great.
I love this looks a lot better on the new card design. I think visually it looks a lot nicer, but I really like this card back in the day. So
I do too, and I am glad it's back.
This kills that dragon. That's such a terror.
Joey,
is this better than the Alicera's card? Since we
I'd play this. I'd play this way more than Alicera's card. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well,
true.
no, I shouldn't say that because the Alicera's deck is going to be like, hey, if you get 6 cards and you're removed from game era, you win the game, and then that's one. I get 3 ends. Anyways,
Joey found it out from his inside guy. He's still there working for the company.
Yeah, but he's changed his name. His name is actually Greg now.
What was it before?
I think pretty sure it was Jeff because it was. Yeah, no. It was Jim. It was Jim. Because I remember it because we had a joke about that too. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, Burn to Cinders. I'd like it.
But your next card, Joey.
Boar's Returned Adventure. 3 cost 6/6. Knight of the Round Table. When this card enters your field or attacks, target Knight of the Round Table gains +4/+4 until end of turn.
I used to run this in my Knight of the Round Table deck.
I thought wasn't he?
I grabbed the full art, by the way.
Wasn't he not in Alice Cluster? I thought he was in the next.
He was
cluster.
BFA, right?
Battle for Ataraxia, yeah. But he was also wasn't he not in the starter decks? Or am I wrong? No, he was just Battle for Ataraxia.
I thought he was with Varriya.
You got a lot of promos of him in the later start decks.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was a promo at the beginning of Lapis Cluster.
Yeah, I got so many of those promos.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it.
But next up,
he's all right. I never liked him as much.
Just BFA.
Next up, we got Serta, the Blazing Volcano, which is 2-cost addition. Mountain players cannot gain life, which Ouroboros gets around that. Whenever a Resonator is put into a graveyard from the field, this card deals 100 damage to each player. So, yeah, I never played this card. I never liked this card,
yeah. But do
you think it's solid at all? Like, if you're a red deck going against maybe in the sideboard end, you're going to go against what's your name?
Tokens.
Brunhild.
Feet's coming in.
Oh, Brunhild.
Like, I'm gonna gain 1,000. I'm gonna gain another 800. I'm gonna draw a card off of that.
Yeah, I could see a world with that. Yeah. As long as you can be sure you outdamage them, so the damage from Resonators
I would rather have
hurt you.
I mean, they recycle Resonators a lot, so like it'll be doing at least 100 each time that happens.
Yeah,
but
I would rather have one of the old Melgus guys that have players cannot gain life. Like I hope Melgus has a phrase like that. But
Oscar,
I just looked at the next card.
Next up is Gwyber, the White Dragon. It's a 5-cost, 1 white, 4 void, 12/12 dragon with flying. You may pay 2 less to play this card for each Resonator. 2 void less to play this card for each Resonator you control that entered the field under your control this turn.
I was just thinking Gwyber, man, he's not as good as I thought he was. Mainly because I was like, man, if I get him with Fuji, it kind of sucks. And then Oscar started reading his other ability, and I was like, oh wait, he's really good.
I mean, it was amazing again, like when you had that token generation, but I don't know if we have that as good anymore.
You definitely kind of still do.
I can, there's a little bit here.
I definitely play a Spirit Color Elf into Gwyber or whatever the equivalent.
That's not legal anymore.
He used to be
whatever
like
the equivalent is.
1-2 play type thing. Now he's
still a turn. He's still a turn 2 play. I can play this guy turn 2. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right. Oh yeah. You need to now build a deck when all the cards come out and show me that it's
Look, I'll just play Sapling turn 1, and then turn 2 I'll play 2 more guys and then Gwyber. Bada boom.
What guys? You have to have them.
I don't know. I'll play 2 I'll play 2 more Saplings.
Build a deck. You'll throw down your 2 Dark Alices you have in hand, right?
Jerry, next one.
Oh, is that mine? Glorious Castle Town. 2-cost addition castle. Oh, it's a castle now. Whenever you gain life, target Resonator gains +3/+3 until end of turn.
So this is the one I was that I got brought attention to is it used to be addition field, now it's just addition. Like, how does that affect the old cards if you were to run this card for any reason?
Yeah, that was one thing that was brought up. That I was like, ooh.
Just weird templating. I don't know.
But this could be pretty solid in today's format. I think there's a lot of passive life gain and stuff like that, and buffing has never hurt. So I could see some people playing this.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think it's just in a similar style like we did last time.
Yeah, me too.
I just
Drake.
Next up, who's next?
You're next.
Oh, Drake the Red Dragon. It's a 5-cost 12/12 Resonator Dragon. Flying, you may pay 1 void less to play this card for each Resonator you controlled. Put into a graveyard from the field this turn.
Drake was like Gwyber's dumb step cousin.
Hi guys, I can fly too. Hi, how we doing?
Straight into see, my thoughts are tainted because I watched a podcast earlier today. They're not original, but the guys at WLTCG, I'm gonna keep saying their names so you can go check them out. We're saying like I believe this is card. I'm gonna feel bad if it wasn't. Like a Lucifer deck. No, yeah, Lucifer, right? Like with Archer and Layla and all that, and you're just sacking all right?
Seems like a lot of cards to sack.
Sounds like a lot of hoopla.
Oh man, I had to sack so many Laylas and Alter and what's it called, Power of Immortality then. That's so.
Well, like you could probably only replace this to like a 3-cost maybe.
Yeah, and those Laylas gave me two stones.
We gotta wait to see if we have dual stones as well, because that's gonna play into it since the stone that produces red is rotating. But
yeah, the color fixer dude.
I'm not as big as a fan of this guy, and that color fixer dude is actually really good. So
yeah.
Also, that same argument could be made for Gwyber because Layla's power of immortality and re-entering the field.
Exactly, Oscar. Power of Immortality, Layla. I get Gwyber turn, whatever that turn is.
Next up, Oscar.
Sorry, I was looking back at Gwyber. Familiar of Primogenitor. It's a 1-cost 400/100 demon. You pay a red and banish this card. Target Resonator gains plus 400 until end of turn.
I hate
You know, yeah. When I was like, when we were back in house class, I remember going through it and I'd be like, God, why do I have like 80 of these cards? I think it was a common or something. I was like, this card is horrible, and then they reprint it. Like, why wasn't this Rook Egg? You know?
Dude, because Rook Egg's broken, and this card is not broken. Rook Egg would suck. This card sucks too, though.
I don't like it. Yeah.
For completely different.
It's like, why'd you add extra, flour and stuff to that pie you're making? It's like, oh, I needed extra filler. All right, Joey.
Keeper of the features, gold. 2-cost 5/5 goddess. Enter. Remove the top 2 cards of your deck from the game. This was her. This card deals 100 damage multiplied by the combined total cost of the cards. Remove this way to target J/Resonator. This card gains +3/+3 and swiftness as long as there are 10 or more cards in your removed area.
There you go. There's our synergy.
Yeah.
I never played this one.
The cool part though is just seeing these again. Like, it just brings back memories. And
I hope we get. I don't hope we get all of them, but it'd be kind of cool.
I'd be interested too to seeing like, does this allow us to play the older ones, like the promos? Did those have printed rarities on them, or no? Was it just promo on it? I'm not familiar with that because these all now have normal rarity instead of SR rarity. So that mean I can't play the SRs, or can I do it because it just functions the same?
It's functioning the same. I think I would rule it legal if I was in charge of Forcible.
Yeah. But one more thing I want to add: if the memorial cards are based on promos, then I feel like they have to throw these in there as memorial cards, like the promo versions, which would be cool to get a hold of. Which it gives you access to run them at that point.
Yeah. Next up, we have Life Profiteering Priest. 1-cost 2/4 Priest. Whenever another resident enters the field under your control, you gain 200 life. I actually used to run this as well in my Knights of the Round Table deck, I believe.
I remember this.
When I pivoted to like a lot of life gain. This could also, if you're running a white-black deck, whenever Layla enters the field and you power of Immortality and grab stuff from your graveyard, you're just constantly gaining life as you're doing these other combos passively. I think that could be good.
This is decent with the card that gives buffs at +3/+3 too. It's at least a little better.
What card buffs it?
Gloria's Castle. Whenever you gain life.
Oh yeah, that's right. You could buff some stuff. Yeah.
I don't remember this card with this art. Did they like?
I do.
BFA, I think.
It was BFA.
Did they?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
BFA had a
Colin
couple
did,
life
I
gain
remember
things.
him running it.
Had like 3 life
I remember
gain
the
things,
card. I just didn't think it had such good art.
Oscar next.
This one brings back memories of this card.
Right,
Scout. 1 cost blue, 200 soldier. When this card is put into a graveyard from the field, draw a card. This was like a target of like Adam Brawley. This is like so much stuff in the Turbo Feed Team deck.
Yeah, on its own, it's not like great compared to other types of 1-drops we've gotten, but yeah, with Adam Brawley and stuff, it was solid.
Yeah, if Dual Stones come out and people are able to run altars with other decks and stuff like that, then yeah, this is definitely something you can start throwing into that.
That's true. Joey?
Sorry, I was looking at stuff. It's okay. It's okay. Ooh, okay, got it. Sorry, Gareth, Dauntless Knight. 800. I liked him. Precision. If this card would be dealt 700 or less damage, prevent it. It's a 3 cost.
And he's also a Knight of the Round Table.
He is a Knight of the Round Table. This was the other one. I
never liked this card.
Yeah, you're right. I think I was thinking of another card.
It's like it's not bad, but like
he's definitely deceptively good. Like
yeah,
if you go after cards with his precision that can't kill him, then that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
and it takes like the full 800 damage to kill him.
But the power levels have also risen a lot since this card was made, so I feel like
I thought
not as relevant.
I know one of these guys had swiftness. That's one that I really liked.
My cat's snoring. Next up, we got Galahad.
Tristan had swiftness.
Tristan had swiftness. Okay.
Galahad, the Son of the God. 2 costs. Wait, was it always Son of the God? And it wasn't Son of God?
I'll look it up. Just keep reading.
Look it up. 2 cost 4/4 Knight of the Round Table. Whenever this card attacks, you gain 500 life. Whenever this card is put into the graveyard from the field, rest target resonator your opponent controls. This was one I ran as well, my Knight of the Round Table and my life gain deck. I think it's solid. It's a solid card.
I never liked this card.
What would it say, Oscar?
It is Son of the God.
Weird.
It's Galahad the Son of the God?
Because you got to think, you'll notice, especially with the other 1-drop, that Knights of the Round Table tended to be a little bit lower attack and defense. And it's because you're just running so much stuff that buffs them, especially the addition. So what this really is a 2 cost with a much higher attack and defense. And every time it attacks, you're gaining life. And then if he dies, you get to rest something your opponent controls. So it's just a nice utility card to have in your deck. But,
Next up is Keeper of the Present, Burgundy.
She's here.
1 cost red, 1/1 goddess. Enter. You may remove a card in your hand from the game. If you do, draw a card, and this card will gain +9/+9 and first strike as long as there are 10 or more cards in your removed area.
This is the one I didn't like. I didn't like playing against. She was like, I think, the best one.
Yeah, because late game it just becomes a 1-drop 10/10.
Earther wasn't. I felt like she was
one that was dropped into mini decks that were running red.
Yeah,
because it was removing from graveyard.
Earther was an 800 damage one, huh?
You're controlling it. We'll get to it in a second.
Yeah.
Spoilers, those reprinted too.
Oh, damn.
But this is pretty solid, especially for what we're seeing so far.
Yeah. I liked how it fed your removed from play area, but still gained you a card. So you just like filtering and stuff.
Next up.
Is that me?
Yeah.
Mine says Blessed Holy Wolf. I thought we already got him at the. Oh no, never mind.
So he's a 4/6 Holy Beast.
He's a 2 cost. Entry: you may destroy target addition.
I ran this for like a minute, and I got over it. Yeah, it's not great.
I mean, I ran it for a minute when I was running the Varriya like pre-con deck, but I never used it beyond that.
Yeah, and it's boring art. It's just okay. Next up, we got Dark Alice's Shadow Warrior. This is a 1 cost 3/3 Shadow Soldier. Banish this card. Target resident gains -2/-2 until end of game, end of turn.
End of game.
I'm not a fan of this card either.
Yeah, I mean it's not as good as was it Blackleaf, which I know is rotating, but it's like a replacement to it, I guess. But I don't like it, and it was never even used when it was out. I didn't even know what's on the picture. What is
I was just
And
thinking about
they're
that too. I was
nice.
like, what is this lore-wise? I
It
don't know.
didn't
shadow.
get much. I know there was a Dark Alice card, but Dark Alice didn't get much shadow support when she was around. It was like
Yeah, I
hard.
tried doing a
It was
shadow
very
something, and
abandoned.
it was
Yeah.
This card
Anyways, Oscar.
Pride of Knights, 1 cost, quick cast chant. Target J/resident you control gains +2/+2 until end of turn. You gain 200 life.
I ran this for a hot minute, and then I found it was terrible.
Everybody's realizing Colin just ran bad cards back.
I just said I ran it for a minute, and then I realized it was bad, and I took it out. And
Yeah.
then Forster was like, "No, we'll put it back in."
Yeah.
People
They're like, no, we need you guys to. Well, okay.
It's
To
cool
be
art
fair-
at least.
To be fair, these are from the Varriya deck, right? The dual deck,
Some of these,
like
some
a
of
couple of
them.
them.
I
Are.
think this one
Like you can tell, like this combined with Glorious Castletown, like makes sense with their synergy. Yeah, he's adorable. So like it makes sense because they're bad cards in the starter deck. So I forget.
Definitely warrants a reprint. Yeah. Next up.
Keeper of the Past, Urther. 3 cost, 800 goddess. Enter, you may remove up to 2 cards in your graveyard from the game. If you do, this card deals 200 damage multiplied by the combined total cost of the cards removed this way to target J/Resonator. This card gains +3/+3 and precision as long as there are 10 or more cards in your removed area. Yeah, you're right. This was
I ran this in all my red decks pretty much because it's just like free damage essentially, and a 3 cost 8/8. The second effect I never did, but
Yeah,
it's solid. It killed J rulers is what I like to use it for as well.
Yeah. You're right. Urther was a good card.
Yeah, solid. But that's all the reprints.
We did it. I know it was a lot of cards.
Oh,
Hopefully next
boy.
time we do it in a week, it's just a handful because we waited so long to get this done.
It's the release is confusing. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with us while we did this. I mean, imagine what 2 or 3 more weeks of this, and then all the 3 or maybe even 4 weeks, and then all the cards are good. We still have to go to the starter decks. We've only seen 2 cards from the starter deck, the Ruler and the Regalia. We haven't seen anything else in the starter deck. So.
Let us know your guys' favorite new card and favorite reprint so far as well below.
Yeah.
Curious.
Or theories going forward. What could be happening?
Yeah.
Which one thing, real quick? I'm sorry. If you look at the cards and all the set numbers, I did create a list. It's like, shut up. There's like 17, 16 white cards, the same number of red cards, but like blue and black are at 5 each, and we haven't seen green yet. Now, green usually goes between blue and black. And if you notice the set numbers on blue for I think the Valentina card or Valle card, and then the first black card is like there's no room for a green in there. But apparently there is green in the set, so it's very few cards. Like it's really weird. Like all these, I'm doing all this like number crunching, trying to figure it out. And I cannot figure it out. There's always like an extra card left over. But
Pepe Silva.
yeah, that's exactly me. But the takeaway is that it's focusing on white red. So I wonder if like the next set comes out, we have a new buy a box promo. It's like black green. All of a sudden, black green are the focus. White and red now have like 5 or 6 cards, and that's what's going to keep that kind of theme going forward, which is very interesting.
I don't think I like that.
Well, I don't like that at all. But
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Kind of like it because it's kind of like, whoa, this is kind of really cool. But yeah, we'll see what happens. There's some theory crafting you guys can do. But thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you next time.